All right. What's up, Intermediate Algebra 2? I feel like I haven't made a video for us in a while. Sitting here Sunday. Titans don't play till later, so catching up on some lesson planning. I am going to have a question that I'm going to ask you at some point in the video. It's going to be, and I want you to answer. You have to give my answer for the question, and you have to answer the question. And the question is going to be, what's the coolest place that you've ever been? Could be a city, could be a specific town, could be a country if you've traveled overseas, but like, what's the coolest place that you've ever visited or spent any time in? All right. This video is going to be based on the calculator. So I'm going to put my calculator on the screen here and it'll be really big. You can see it. I'm hoping that you maybe have one at home in your desk or in your backpack. We will need this for class this week. So throw it in your bag so that you can use it in class. But I'm going to be using one on the screen. And we're still talking about systems of equations. So just a recap. Systems of equations, I'm just going to make something up. It's when you take two equations like y equals 2x minus 3 and y equals 1/2 x plus 2, and you need to find if they share any solutions. Remember, if they're parallel, they won't share any solutions at all. If they intersect, like these two do, I didn't realize that my zoom was messed up. I'm going to hit zoom and then go down and press number 6 for standard view. These, you can see there's one solution for this. And then if they were parallel, like if this was also a 2, these would never touch. There's no solution there. And then if they were the same equation, then they would have all solutions. And I'm going to show you how to solve them using a calculator. Okay, so let's go back to that example that I had there. And let's pretend like we were trying to find this point of intersection right here. We can guess. I mean, what does it look like? It looks like it goes over 2.5 and maybe up 2.5. But see, the reason we use calculator is because we need to get the exact decimal point. We don't want to just guess. And we often use the calculators on ones that are going to have decimal answers because it makes the algebra really tricky, right? So let me show you how you would solve this. Let's say, go to 4th period, systems of equations. Okay, let's say that I told you to find the solution for y equals 2x. What was it? 2x minus 3 and 1/5 x plus 2. 2x minus 3 and 1/5 x plus 2. We could probably solve by graphing, but graphing by hand is not going to do us justice. But if you ever see it as y equals and y equals, I definitely think that graphing is the way to go. And if I don't tell you have to graph it by hand, let's use our calculator. So I plug those in, 2x minus 3, 1/5 x plus 2, they're in there. You put one of them into y1, one of them into y2, you hit graph. You see your intersection point. If you need to adjust your window or anything, or your zoom, I wouldn't do this. I'd never tell students to go zoom and then press number 2 for zoom in or number 3 for zoom out. That looks horrible. What I would rather you do is go to your window. And if you want it to be bigger on the x-axis, just do like your x minimum to be -20 and your x maximum to be 20. And then look what that does. It made it a lot wider. See how far this goes to 20 now instead of just to 10? And if I wanted to do the same thing for the y minimum, maybe I go to -20, and for the y maximum I go to 20. And so now look, I've technically zoomed out because I made them go to 20 and -20. So I would encourage you to change your window to do your zoom. And then anytime you want to reset it, you just press zoom 6. And that takes you back to a 10 by 10 window. So we see our solution right there, but we need to find it. Here's the first thing I want you to write down somewhere in your notes. And this will honestly, you can include this in the message to show me that you were watching at this point. the way you find the solution is you press second trace, and it gives you these options. Which option do you think we should choose to find the intersection point? I think that's a pretty good clue. It's number 5. So you push enter, and it tells you first curve, question mark. It just wants to make sure the cursor is on your first line, which it is. It's on the blue one, so I push enter. And then it says second curve, and notice now it's blinking on the red. That's what we want, so we push enter. And then do you want me to guess what the answer is? Yes, I do, because you're not really guessing. You're being generous. You're going to tell me the answer. Push enter. Bang. Pinpoints right on it. The answer is 2.7 repeating and 2.5 repeating. So our answer would be 2.7, 2.5. And that would be a pain in the butt to find using algebra. So the calculator helps us. Okay? That's the first thing. It's graphing, and you always use that if it comes in y equals form. But let me show you a really, really cool thing. What if it is not y equals form? Like this one, you can graph, you can graph. What if it looked like this, though? Won't let me zoom in anymore. There you go. Something here. Maybe it will. There we go. 4x plus y equals 2, x minus y equals 3. It's like that's not in graphing form. So let me show you how the calculator can do some really cool stuff. You ready for this? I am going to show you this twice. I encourage you to watch and write down notes as you go. It's like 3 things you need to remember on the calculator. It's not bad. But this is 4x. I'm going to write this down right now on my paper so that I don't have to keep going back and forth. 4x plus y equals 2 and x minus y equals 3. All right, I wrote that down. So we go to the calculator. We press second quit. We get out of here. Okay? We are going to go, see this little blue word that says matrix? We are going to enter the matrix, which I can't wait for that new movie to come out on Christmas. You press second, and then this button takes you to this screen here. And some of you might not have where it says 2 by 3. You will in just a second. But these are a bunch of different matrices that you can store in here. So we're going to arrow over to the right twice to where we're on the edit section and push enter. So we are now inside matrix A, and we are going to edit it to fit what we need. And I want you to make this a 2 by 3 matrix. Why do we want to make it a 2 by 3 matrix? Let me show you. Is because, remember we said our equation was 4x plus y equals 2 and x minus y equals 3. Do you see why that is a 2 by 3 matrix? There's 2 rows, row number 1, row number 2, and then there's 3 columns, x, y, numbers. So that's why this is a 2 by 3 matrix. So 2 by 3 matrix, and we get down here, and we put our numbers. It was 4x, enter, plus 1y, so I push a 1, enter, equals 2. I push a 2. Then it jumps to the second row, and that was just 1x minus y, so negative 1y equals 3. Okay, so let me freeze there again. Do you see what we did? We put the 4, it only uses the coefficients. Notice I never put an x in there. I never put a y in there. I'm just using the numbers that are in front of the variables. 4x plus 1y equals 2. There's my first equation. And 1x minus 1y equals 3. There's my second equation. So I have officially plugged in this system into the matrix. I press second quit to get out of there. Okay, so now that it's in there, watch how easy it's going to solve for x and y for us. Here's the second thing you should write down. You go back in, second matrix. You go over to math, and you press up until you get to this option, RREF. I'm not going to talk about exactly like what that stands for and how the math works just yet. That's something you might go deeper in, higher level math. But this is going to basically reduce our rows, row reduction, RR, and find our answer. So we're going to push enter, and we want it to row reduce matrix A, which is the one that we just made. So I go back in, second matrix, and I click enter on matrix A and close the parentheses. So we are going to run a row reduction on matrix A, and I push enter, and our answers are always going to be right over here on the right side. X equals 1, y equals -2. Bang, it just solved that matrix for us. So we started with this. The equation was 4x plus y equals 2, x minus y equals 3. We used our calculator and we got x equals 1 and x equals -2. And that is correct. You might be thinking like, Smith, I don't want to do that on the calculator. I'd rather just use elimination method. Because look, the y's cancel and you get 5x equals 5, x equals 1. Look how easy that was, and I got the same thing. Yeah, I understand that, but we're only going to use the calculator for ones that have fraction answers, decimal answers, maybe even they have x, y, z. They have 3 variables, and so this would make your life a lot easier. Okay, so I'm teaching you with a simple example, but this is going to save you a ton of time, the RREF method. Okay, so let's try one more, and then this video will be over, and then I'll tell you my favorite city. Let's do this one. X plus 7y equals 0. So let me go back in, second matrix, go over to edit. I'm just going to use matrix A every time because I don't want to keep changing it. So what was it? 1 in front of the x, 7 in front of the y, and then a 0. So 1, 7, 0. 1, enter, 7, enter, 0, enter. Then what was the next one? A 2, a -8, and a 22. A 2, a -8, and a 22. Okay, matrix A is complete. We press second quit. We do second matrix again, and we go over to math, and we then go up until we get to row reduction. Push enter. What matrix do we want to row reduce? Well, second matrix. We want to do matrix A. That's the one we're working with. So we row reduce matrix A, and we get x equals 7, y equals -1. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, so you know how to solve by graphing now. Second trace 5, and then you push enter 3 times. Boom. And you know how to solve matrices using the row reduction method using the button combination second matrix. So hey, that's all I got for this video. Please bring in your calculator tomorrow. We will get after it. And there's 2 clear favorite cities that I've ever visited. First one, New Orleans. I absolutely love New Orleans. You don't understand how beautiful it is. It's all seasons, summer, spooky. Look at this. That's Halloween. Look how incredible that is. New Orleans is magic. And then my favorite city that I've ever been to outside of the US is Istanbul. Istanbul is beautiful. It's in Turkey. It's over near Greece, kind of Eastern Europe. And I was able to go my senior year of college and visit and eat some amazing food, go to some amazing history museums. And it was just such a unique experience. I stayed in a hostel. And those are my 2 favorite cities, New Orleans and Istanbul. Would love to hear about your guys' favorite spots. Don't forget to send me a message on Campus. 2 things you learned from this video and your favorite city. See y'all tomorrow.